Dígwit gach duine agus tá fáilte roimh go léir go dtí pách an cruchaigh inniu. Tá muid an seo do bátaí cethú cleannas do na fíors sínsar dúbalta. An chéad cluiche inniu an Clare in aig Loch Garman. So we have, starting off today, the reigning senior champions from Clare, Nash and Crehan, and we have against them their opposition from Wexford, Buggy, and a late replacement to the lineup in Armstrong. Buggy last week teamed up with Adam Walsh. But unfortunately, Adam was feeling ill-disposed this week, so
for Clare,
I think he also had
Nash
to
and
put off his junior doubles final last night in Leinster.
Buggy and Armstrong.
Gavin Buggy teaming up with Armstrong now to
Tony Breen is doing the line on the right hand side, and Laura Finn is doing the line on the left hand side.
A couple of years ago, Clare was the senior champions this year, the reigning champions. A couple of years ago, they were actually shocked in the early rounds by a Wexford team. A different lineup to what we have here today, but they'll be looking to emulate that win again and knock out the reigning champions. It will be a tough ask. Keith Armstrong falling in. I believe it's his first game at senior doubles and first game in the glass box here in Crow Park.
0-0.
Difficult prospects, but we'll see how they get on. They've started off brightly, knocking out Clare in the first rally. So we'll see how we go. We do have 4 games on the schedule today, so we'll be here for quite a while, listening to me drawn on. But hopefully the handball will be good entertainment to make up for it.
Hand off.
Gavin just missing early on. Seasoned and experienced campaigner is Gavin. He is the oldest playing in the senior championship this year. But, he's a very smart player, Gavin. He knows what to do in the alley.
Again.
And he'll be hoping to use that today against Clare.
Sharp ball.
You see early on we're just feeling each other out. We're capably in the hands of Rachel, Frank Daly here today. Slight miss by Gavin.
0-0.
We can see early on the players just trying to figure out the alley, figure out the ball, and possibly for some wake up a bit this early in the morning. It is always hard being the first game on, trying to get yourself ready early, get the food in and get warmed up.
Play the ball again.
Especially for big games like these in championship tournaments might be a bit easier. You can see Clare kind of going with the American style of doubles where they swap sides as they're serving. They're both very able singles players. And
Mark 1.
They
One
do.
serving
Colin,
0.
when he's serving, switches to the left. But
Stop ball.
play more traditionally, Colin will go on the right when they're receiving served in again. Colin, oof. Gavin getting stuck against the sidewall there.
Mark 2. 2 serving 0.
But, Colin, well known in singles and doubles for being able to put out some of the most incredible shots that most people wouldn't even imagine.
Mark
bit of a maverick
3.
in handball alley, but
3 serving 0.
works for him quite a bit at a time. It is definitely working from last year. They defeated Cork in the final last year. Michael Hedigan and Daniel Rellan, they'll be
3
playing
serving
after
0.
this. But it looked like Clare were in a bit of trouble early in the first game, and Cork looked at least to be taking the first game in that, but Colin really started to switch on and produce some incredible shots, and they took the first game. It kind of took a bit the wind out of the sails of Cork, and they went on win the second game. They withstood a bit of a late fight back from Cork in that game, but they played very well then. Once Colin gets going, and it is very hard to get him back out of form. He kills some incredible ball. And it is,
play the ball again,
as they say, quite flat to the floor when he puts it down. But still here we're still slightly feeling each other out at the start of this game.
Hand off.
And it's quite hard for Keith here today, as Falling is in a replacement, especially after the team has won the following week and has a bit of chemistry and such.
Side away,
to fall into that and
0.
figure out how to play. They didn't have much notice. I think it was only yesterday or the day before that Adam started feeling quite sick. Keith isn't doing too bad so far though.
Still the same, 3 serving 0.
It's hard, especially for a senior championship. You really want a lot of chemistry playing at this when you're up against the best, especially against the senior champions. That you want to know each other in and out.
Mark
for
4,
Gavin
4
as well,
serving 0.
Slightly off-putting, getting it in your head what way you're going to play all week with your partner, and then perhaps it kind of switches when you do switch the players your wish, but they need to settle down here quick enough if they do want to keep on the tails of Clare. Clare kind of starting to open up a slight lead early on. Gavin just getting caught by the junction of the glass walls in the back corner. Clare 5-0 up now. Clare just doing a very good job of keeping Wexford back and letting them make mistakes.
Play it again.
And then when they do it, when they're certain of their shots, they're going for the kill.
Still
then
5 serving 0.
we do have coverage all day here today. You'll be glad to hear I don't think you're stuck with me for the full day. I believe Jarkunen is arriving later on. I think the only reason he's possibly arriving is because I have 2 jerseys from him from the Southern Classic. And I think he wants to ensure that he gets them this year.
Mark 6, 6 serving 0.
Because he's been following me for the last 18 months trying to get a hold of him, and to no avail. I think this is the day he finally tracks him down. So he shall join me later for commentary for
side away.
possibly
0
the second game, but
6.
definitely for the third and fourth games here this evening. So we have 4 men's games down on the schedule. First we have Clare and Wexford here. Our second game up then is losing finalists last year from Cork. Daniel Rellahan and Michael Hedigan. They're playing last year's losing intermediate finalists, Paul Moore and Kevin Diggins. Third up we have Kilkenny, the 2 Function brothers, Peter and Patrick, and they play Wicklow, who had a fiery game last week, of Michael Gregan and Jerome Willoughby. And the last game then is Meath, Gary McConnell and Brian Carroll against David Walsh and Brendan Fleming. So we have a few returning partnerships this year and a few new ones. So we have the 2 returning finalists. Last year the 2 Functions played together, lost out in the semi-final to Cork. Brendan Fleming and David Walsh is a new partnership. David coming up from intermediate last year. He played with Ty Carroll in the senior as well.
2 serving 6.
I believe they lost to Clare up here in Crow Park. Brendan last year played with Ty O'Neill, and they lost to 2 Flemings, or the 2 Functions in down in my Cullen in Galway. We have Meath returning, Brian Carroll and Gary McConnell were out of action last year. They return again, as well as the Wicklow pairing changed up slightly. Keegan last year pairing up with a different Willoughby. He's moving through the brothers We'll have to wait and see next year. Will he switch again? And
Mark 3,
we have
3
Wexford as well,
serving
so
6.
it'll late change. Keith Armstrong again going in with Gavin Buggy. Keith is starting to settle in now and produce some good shots.
4 serving 6.
They're clawing back Clare's lead. Clare had gone ahead early on, 6 aces, but only a couple left in it now. They possibly did take Wexford just a couple few aces.
6
settle in.
serving 4.
Gavin getting caught again in the back corner with the junction of those glass walls, and well, it does get easier playing in the alley over time. The more games you play, you kind of judge it better, but there is sometimes when you're in the heat of the battle and you've only a split second to see. It is very hard to judge exactly where that ball is going.
Mark
in
7.
In those corners.
7 serving 4.
Colin with a very good shot there.
Short ball.
Colin earlier this season possibly suffered a bit of dip in form in his singles game. He'll be hoping that he has
Mark 8,
rectified it now.
Serving
He's
4.
been switching back and forth between Dublin and Clare this year. In the last year, he switched to playing hurling in Dublin last year with Kilmacud Crokes, as he was living and working up in Dublin.
One hand off. 8 serving 4.
Moved back down to Clare for a while over the winter and was playing a good bit of handball back down in his home place, and he's trying to come back up to Dublin again. I think there's quite a lot of players, Jim Nash being one of them as well,
Mark
that still
9
representing their home
4.
counties but are living up in Dublin, training up in Dublin, and I believe a lot of them training out of Croke Park as well, and I think they're getting great games up here. Plenty of choice, definitely. Colin will be hoping that
Mark 10.
maybe his slight
10
dip in form
serving 4.
is gone at this stage and he is peaking for championship. The age-old saying, giving himself and Dermot a good chance of returning the title again.
Tony. Sharp ball. All 3.
Dermot trying to appeal in the serve there, but it was short. And it does make quite a difference playing up in Croke Park. The alleys, besides just not even the glass box, but the other 2 alleys are quite fast, quite warm. Probably not something most of us down the country we used to. Definitely, even in Liscarroll in recent years, we've finally got a heating system, and
no, not up.
It used to be quite a nice box.
5 serving 10.
Then when you switched to play to another alley, it was quite an experience, and I think a lot of players is the same down the country. A lot of players trying to get up here and get games in Croke Park in general. Get used to the alleys.
6 serving 10.
Going over to America, the heat, the bounce of the ball is different, the roof and everything, different to most alleys around that you were playing in. Seniors maybe get more games up here, so have a bit more experience, but
7
we'll
serving 10.
2 weekends time we have the All-Ireland semi-finals. The Masters is on Saturday. Full grades, full list of Masters grades semi-finals. Munster against Connacht and Ulster against Leinster this year.
One hand off.
On the Saturday,
7 serving
with
10.
the senior ladies and senior men's semi-finals as well on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday we have the full list of adult grades semi-finals on, and then the following week we've all the finals return back here again.
Side away.
Last year they had trialled a bit of a different
11.
format in having
Sorry,
the
10
Masters
serving 7.
Masters semi-finals and final on the same weekend, and another weekend was the adult semi-finals and finals on the same weekend. feeling was that, well, the Clare can definitely be convinced that it was probably a bit hard on the body, and particularly players who maybe got a walkover or maybe had an easier game on the Saturday. The finals definitely favoured those with less strenuous games.
I thought it was good because I couldn't see it. Okay.
So this year we switched formats, semi-finals
and. Good. Okay. The 2 serves. Play the ball again. Okay.
This year we have a switch back to semi-finals one weekend and finals next weekend. And, I think listening to feedback from the players, I think that's what most people want. I think the switch to Croke Park for centralised semi-finals and finals is quite welcome. It is great to have this facility, and it does bring quite a crowd for the semi-finals. Home advantage was a huge thing for semi-finals previously, and while you would have a good crowd in the local alley,
Mark 12.
perhaps overall we have a better festival of handball across the weekend when we have the semi-finals here in one centralised location. I think from experience in the past that most people's favourite tournaments are usually when everyone's together in one place and get to see lots of games, play lots of games, meet lots of people.
Second hand, 12 serving 7.
Initially when I started handball in the college system, it was kind of the way we favour things, getting everyone together and getting lots of games. And there really was a great social aspect to handball in.
Mark 13 serving 7.
And we can see here now Gavin switching to the right, so Adam Walsh is left-handed. Maybe Gavin was focusing on playing on the right all week.
First time out to Wexford.
Wexford trying to slow down the
going back at
Clare here.
7-13.
They seem to hit a bit of form there now in the last few races, but Wexford hoping that they can take a couple of seconds here, get reset, and maybe the switch Gavin going to the right will help them settle back into this game again. It is great to have handball so many games being live streamed this year on TG Car. I guess we are delighted and grateful to TG Car for partnering up with GA Handball to provide this facility for all spectators around the country and around the world. In the future, they might pay a bit for commentary and get an upgrade on me, but it's still great to be able to watch live games in Croke Park. And I think during the year there's quite a few of the events are going to be live streamed. Obviously we're going to have the semi-finals and finals next weekend as well. There's a slew of the singles weekends going to be
7-13
live streamed as well, and later in the year we've
a
few different events have been announced also. So it'd be great to get such consistent coverage for GA Handball. Handball did have a partnership with TG Car previously, and we had a programme on it, and I can remember when I was starting off in handball, it was great to see it on TV and get such exposure, and hopefully this partnership again will lead to more exposure like that and get more people seeing the sport, watching the sport, and ultimately I suppose get more players and kids involved playing the sport, because it is a great sport in Ireland and has a great tradition, but it is perhaps through collective fault it isn't the best advertised or recognised, and hopefully initiatives like this will bring it back in to more mainstream recognition down the line. And of course this year we do have our 2 World Championships as well.
13 serving 7.
For the first time, we've split up the 1 wall and 4 wall championship, so I'm going to be returning to we're going to my alma mater in UL in Limerick for the 1 wall Worlds in the end of August, just before school's return, I think, for the kids, and then based across Crow Park and surrounding venues in Leinster. In October, November, we're going to have the
14 serving 7
4 wall championships as well. And Colin, this game has really been playing strong.
Mark,
he's playing kind of smart handball, forcing Wexford back, and when he has the chance and he's gone for the kill, there isn't much room left
short ball
between the ball and the bottom board, so he's starting strong here today. And Clare looking to get off to a strong start in this. Colin again, this time with his left hand, and
Mark, 16 serving 7.
He is known for he can be in very awkward positions, and he's great hip strength to force the kill and get that ball down, especially when you're not expecting it. And it's a great asset to have in a game like this, especially in doubles. Your kills really do have to be pinpoint to end the rally. And even though it may be Keith Armstrong's first game.
Side away, 7 serving 16.
In this year's senior championship, and definitely his first game in the glass box, but it doesn't seem to be faring too badly so far, I knows. Tough ask in your first game to play the reigning champions, especially two good singles players in Jeremy Nash and Colin Crehan also, and in this alley also as well. But the 3 glass walls do pose some problems with reading the ball in certain situations.
Second hand.
Maybe not quite
7 serving
correct
16.
shot from Keith there. We're quite a defensive kind of rally going, and maybe slightly off balance. He went for the kill into the corner, just couldn't quite pull it off. And Wexford there
16 serving 7.
I think it's gone from 10-7, where they were looking like they were within touch of Clare, and we're now gone to 16-7. They've been in a couple of times without scoring an ace, and in senior or any doubles, you want to be at least getting 1 ace on each serve. Just keep, as they say, keep the scoreboard ticking over, and when you're chasing, you don't want to be going in and not scoring anything. It's
second hand, 16 serving 7.
It can be demoralising, trying to catch up and not getting any closer all the time while your opponent's been further and further away. Sorry there from Diarmid.
Mark, 17 serving 7.
Clare moving closer now to taking this first game, only 4 aces away. After initial I suppose settling period, just getting used to everything. Clare have been playing well here.
Mark, 18 serving 7.
Forcing Wexford deep, not allowing too many easy shots inside the lines, and particularly Colin taking their kills very well. Good shot there from Keith, and when he has been given a chance a lot of the time, he has finished off rallies.
18.
Maybe a couple of shots, just trying to force the issue, but when he takes his time and is given a chance, he is similar to Colin, not leaving much room between the ball and the bottom board. Probably do a bit more of that, Wexford. Oof. Gavin maybe hasn't fully settled into this game today. He has been struggling with injuries in recent times. He was hobbled at the end of the game last week. I think he was struggling a bit today.
18, serving 7.
To be fully mobile coming up the stairs in Crow Park, but he's moving. It doesn't seem to be moving too badly inside in the alley, but maybe not playing with the same freedom that he normally does. Oh, Alan, with an incredible shot there again.
Serving 7.
We wouldn't usually advise kids to be setting themselves up on the back wall like that, but
played again.
Colin got himself a bit caught, read the ball wrong, and improvised quite well.
19, serving 7.
That'll be one for the highlights reel down the line. And
Court hinder.
I don't quite know how we even managed to get that one up.
19, serving 7.
Hit the crack of the glass wall for a replay, but
Mark 20, game
still
ball,
managed to get it
serving
through the legs.
7.
Keith that time maybe just going for the kill when it wasn't fully on, to give Clare game ball here in this first game. And Colin with another very good defensive shot. And Clare take game 1 in this 21-7. Early on,
First game,
it was going to be a very tight contest throughout. Wexford maybe started a bit slowly. They got back into it then, and they were getting into service and getting aces every time, but they seemed to 10-7. They seemed to get stuck, and they went in a couple of times after that, didn't score, and if you're definitely going to take down the senior champions, you have to be scoring every time and really flying in all forms. So Gavin Buggy Gavin Buggy just trying to get more into the groove in the alley. Taking a quick break here now between games. Díogrit gachtain áris agus tá fáilte roimh Dion Céad Cluiche don lá inis I Bach Crocky an Clare in na Charman bhuaigh an Clare an Céad Cluiche féin in aige 7 agus anis ag dulach 7 an dar Cluiche anis. So our first game of 4 here today. Reigning champions Clare taking on Wexford.
0-0.
Nash and Crehan against Buggy and Keith Armstrong.
Play ball. Yeah.
Fell in late for Adam Walsh. This is Clare's first outing. First outing this year. They haven't seen too rusty so far in the first game.
0-0.
Maybe took a slight few aces, slight few rallies to settle into it fully, but once they did get going, they definitely were motoring well and took game 1 21-7. Wexford played last weekend. They had quite a good game against Monaghan. It was Adam Walsh against Buggy. Take the win out of take the win against two quite young, promising players in Gavin Coyle and Owen McGinnishy. But unfortunately, Adam Walsh, who performed very well last week, took ill yesterday and had to be replaced late on. So Clare now looking to wrap this game up in 2 and not create any excitement for themselves. 2 years ago they were defeated in the first round of doubles by a different Wexford pairing. They won't be looking to give Wexford any chance of that in this game. Keith may be getting slightly frustrated. He did quill quite some good ball in the first game here when given a chance. Considering he may not have played a whole lot recently, he wasn't scheduled to play here. Fell in late, but he killed some good ball and maybe just some slight mistakes from misjudging the alley and excitement at the first game in this alley as well. Wexford doing a good job here in this alley of digging the ball out. Gavin has maybe slightly seemed to struggle today with this back left corner and judging the ball fully coming round, which is slightly unfortunate. He'd be hoping that it rectifies soon enough to give themselves a chance of winning this game. Again, in the first of 4 games here today, we have the 4 quarterfinals down for decision in the show court. Next up we have losing finalists last year, Cork, Daniel Berlin and Michael Edigan, facing off against losing intermediate finalists last year, Paul Moran and Kevin Diggins from Cork, or from Kildare even. Excuse my mistake. After that, then we have the 2 and all Leinster derby of the Funchon brothers, Peter and Patrick, against Wicklow, Michael Gregan and John Willoughby. And our final game of the day sees Brian Carroll and Gary McConnell facing off against Cork and David Walsh and Brendan Fleming. But quite a bit of handball before we get to that game still. And Wexford hoping that there's quite a bit of handball left in this game yet. They will want to get started quickly enough if they do want to realise that. Both players in the Clare pair today have looked quite impressive. Colin has been killing some quite good ball and has had some very good defensive shots as well and passing shots, and Diarmuid as well, very good at fly kills, and when you give him a chance, very good at killing in his own right. Very good, as we can see there at the paddle kill.
9-0.
Diarmuid kind of slightly ambidextrous, that he can actually serves with both hands at times. He's able to hit the ball both sides. Very smart player. In November, the Nationals were held in Clare, and in his home court he was
you can't.
Nationals were held in his home court, and
he
was the winner on that occasion against Robbie McCarthy, and instead from Robbie faced off again in the Southern Classic down in Cork recently, and after Robbie taking the first game, it looked like Diarmuid would force a tiebreaker until an incredible run of rallies and kills from Robbie saw him take that title for the second year in a row. Keats just slightly caught out there again with the bounce of the ball.
0 serving 9.
And it is Harrity maybe getting slightly frustrated in this second game, and is trying to force the issue after losing the first well enough after looking promising early on. It
9 serving 0.
Can maybe try to start going for shots and try and produce shots that aren't quite on. Just looks a bit at the minute the Wexford are in that position. Clare, of course, often forcing them into mistakes with some quite good serves and defensive shots also. Colin with incredible pick there, and not only does he pick it, but he makes it incredibly hard for Gavin to pick the following
11
shot.
serving 0.
Colin has the ability kind of produce something out of nothing. His two great hands, and maybe sees the game a bit differently. That some shots that we maybe wouldn't even consider or think about or conceive in our heads, that Colin just goes for it.
Back 12, first time out for Wexford.
He can maybe at times
going back two hands, 12-0.
Miss a few shots and gains, but then he can hit a burst of form, and it's really hard to stop Colin and stop Clare when he hits that kind of form, because those balls are quite hard to pick at that stage. Both the Clare pairing are also play hurling as well, and played against them many times, and Colin can be similar in the hurling game as well, and he can be tipping away in the game, and then all of a sudden just out of nothing he can produce 5 great minutes and have 2-3 scored, and he can really make a huge difference in a game. He's recently switched last year to playing up in Dublin with Kilmacud Crokes. It shows a new challenge and new experience for him, playing a different county, different system, different club. But he has the ability to make huge differences in the game, no matter what the level is.
Okay, lads, 2 hands.
He's going quite well here today in the handball area as well. He's following a long line in hurlers in Clare, who are also good handballers, and similarly in Kilkenny. Seems to be quite a production line of good hurlers, good inter-county hurlers, and good handballers as well. Recently we have the likes of Billy Drennan, Conor Doyle, Mark Rogers, Patrick Cotty between the two counties. Mixing
30.
top level of handball and hurling. It's quite hard to do both, especially with the way hurling and football at the inter-county level particularly has gone this year.
Mark 14.
Wexford in this second game have produced a lot more mistakes in the first. Clare just kind of looking steady all the time. Even that Diarmuid produced a great pick off the back wall. Colin had another good pick, couldn't follow it up, but Even when Wexford produced good shots, Clare just digging it out and putting the onus on Wexford to force the issue, and that is making Wexford make mistakes. They do have the comfort of the first game win, but they're playing very smart handball here.
15.
And looking in good form going forward in the rest of this championship. So we had
Mark 16.
5 games down for the decision last weekend in the round of the last 16. Down to the quarterfinals now today, so 2 weekends in a row. We do have a break next weekend, and then we have a full program of All-Ireland semi-finals in 2 weeks' time, the first weekend of March. The Saturday the 2nd sees the senior men's and ladies semi-finals down for decision here again. And on the same day, the full program of Masters grades semi-finals we played also. And then on Sunday, we have all the adult grades.
0 serving 17.
This year in outside of the senior, it sees Munster play Connacht in the semi-finals, and Ulster play Leinster in those semi-finals. And Colin have to serve kind of nonchalantly, just produces a very good shot, and everyone was kind of almost surprised at the way it happened. Just kind of do things like that, do something out of nothing.
Good pick.
And just everything Wexford seem to be doing today just doesn't seem to be working. Diarmid very lively around the court, and you see there when they are going for volleys and such that Diarmid's on them straight away. Ball is picked, and
one hand off.
Nearly needs to be flat or rolling in here today to end the
one.
rally, especially Clare in good form already. They definitely weren't in any mood, haven't been in any mood today to allow any talks of an upset or any thoughts.
Mark 18.
And after this performance, you'll definitely take a team playing very well to defeat them as well, take that crown away. We have seen some of the other teams playing already last weekend. This weekend we do add in a couple more, the other losing finalists. Cork and Nash here, Daniel Brennan and Michael Hittigan. They played their first game today.
19, serving 1.
We also see the two Funchin brothers returning today for their first game this season. We already had Gary McConnell and Brian Carey played
20,
last weekend as well.
serving 1.
As did all the other teams, and looks like it's shaping up to be quite a championship now. Clare in this second game were quite ruthless. They definitely weren't resting on their laurels after the first game. Diarmid and Colin playing very well here, and they'll be hoping to continue that on. We're going to take a break here shortly, and our second game up soon will be Cork, Daniel Rellan and Michael Hittigan against Kildare, Paul Moran and Kevin Diggins.